I'm complaining about it, but I'm fully taking part in this. I think it's $11.99 for YouTube Premium. I never thought I would see the day where I'm paying for YouTube, but boy, I can't stand those ads. I'm sorry. It's disrespectful at this point. So they got me, man. Why is it that these companies are not offering a pay-as-you-go style tier for people who don't want to be locked into a monthly commitment? Why is that? Welcome back to another episode of the Redesigned Podcast. This week, we're talking about subscription fatigue. Why is everything a subscription nowadays? What is going on? How did we end up here? It's getting crazy now. And then we're going to talk about a guy who lost a hard drive containing millions of dollars or pounds, wherever you're listening, millions of pounds worth of Bitcoin. His missus put it in the bin, disposed of it accidentally or not accidentally, I don't know. And then to this day, he's been fighting to try and get the Bitcoin back. It's stored on a hard drive somewhere in some landfill. It's just crazy. He's trying to buy the landfill. We're going to be talking about that story. Also, Apple got some new releases coming out soon. We're going to be getting into that. And also some updates on the podcast, the direction of the podcast, what's happening with it. All of that coming up after this. I want to send a massive shout to everyone who's been locked in, leaving comments, subscribing. I appreciate every single one of you. Seriously, like I really mean it. Without you, the channel would not be growing the way it is. Next milestone, we're going to try and hit 3,000 subscribers on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other audio platforms. We're going to try and get more people following and subscribed. So if you're locked in on an audio only platform and you haven't already hit the follow button or subscribe button, I invite you to do that. This is the place where we talk about all things tech, digital culture, basically the intersection between technology and society, how the digital age is kind of like influencing everything that we do now. And you can't deny it. It's becoming way more obvious. Like compared to when I started this podcast back in 2017, 2018, it's so obvious nowadays how technology is completely infiltrated everything that we're doing, from banking to relationships to work, finding work to, you know, creativity, everything, even our health. Like when you go to the gym, you put on your Fitbit or your Apple Watch and you monitor your heart rate. You look how many steps you've done, you know, all of that stuff. Everything is just all digital, and all that data is going somewhere. All that data can be tracked. You can use it to track your performance, but also other people can use it to track you. So yeah, we're living some crazy times right now. And as we approach 2030, we're already halfway through the 2020s. Imagine that. So by the time we get to 2030, life is going to be unrecognizable. It's going to be completely unrecognizable because there's just so much going on in terms of what we'd call the fifth industrial revolution. This is the digital age. And if you thought the digital age started back in, 2000, yeah, you'd be right. But this is a new era. We're headed towards AI and quantum. That's the next frontier, to the point where it's going to have a massive impact on civilization in general. And we're talking work, your livelihood, education, even politics, even the way countries are run, government, policies, everything. It's crazy. There's a lot to be said. And that's why this podcast is here, to discuss all these things and bring everything to light and start a conversation. So with that being said, let's get into this week's news and this week's topics. All right, now this one is a crazy story. This is what you call a digital age treasure hunt. So a guy called James Howells, a computer engineer from the UK, from Newport in Wales. He's literally spent the last decade chasing a dream of what's become one of the internet's most infamous urban legends, especially if you know anything about crypto. It's crazy. So back in 2013, he had a hard drive which contained Bitcoin, right? And estimated to be about $750 million worth. Yeah. And it was accidentally thrown away in a local landfill. Now he's determined to get back what he sees as his lost fortune. 12 years. Crazy. So after a legal battle to try and get access to the landfill, has not really worked out for him. It's got dismissed by a judge. He took it to court, and boy, he's not giving up. He's not giving up. Instead, he's trying to implement a new strategy. He's trying to negotiate with investment partners. He's trying to raise money to potentially purchase that very same landfill that holds the keys, the keys to his Bitcoin, yeah? So we're talking about the unique, if you don't know about Bitcoin, you can either store it on an exchange, or you can take custody of your digital assets yourself, and it's what's called private keys. So no one can access it apart from you without those private keys, yeah? So in a way, if he had stored his Bitcoin on an exchange, obviously it's more risky. He might actually have been able to retrieve his investment, you know, which is ironic. But yeah, he's trying to get that hard drive that contains the private key. So 13 years we're talking, like nearly 13 years we're talking. After rain, snow, other stuff piled on top of it, more landfill coming in. We're talking 13 years worth of landfill. How the hell is he gonna find it? Even if he got to the hard drive, yeah? Assuming he got to the hard drive, how would he even know it was his hard drive? Because, I mean, unless it's some gold-plated hard drive, I don't know. I don't even know how this is making sense. Yeah, but anyway, so now the stakes are higher than ever. Yeah, particularly as the Newport City Council, who owns the landfill, which houses over 1.4 million tons of waste. Let that sink in. They've announced plans to close and cap the site this financial year. And the council has a vision of transforming that landfill into a solar farm. I don't think this guy's got much hope left. I don't know, man. I mean, I would be devastated if that happened to me. I'm just thinking about it. It just makes me feel sick. Imagine having known that you had access to 750 million. Yo, this is madness. This is madness. This is why you should never put all your eggs in one basket. If you have a certain amount of Bitcoin or any type of asset, maybe just divide it. Put some over here, put some over there. Just don't put all your eggs in one basket. Damn. Anyway, let me know what you think. What would you do if you were in that position? And there's a rumor. I'm not sure if it's true. There's a rumor that it was his wife that threw the hard drive away. I don't know if it's true, but listen, let me know what you would do if you were in that position. Would you dwell on it? Would you? I don't know, man. Man, I feel his pain. I feel his pain though. That's crazy. Saying that, everyone's very quiet about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency recently. And I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist. I feel like the news media and the elite don't want you to know that cryptocurrency is actually a great investment. Because when I discovered crypto and Bitcoin back in 2016. Yeah, 2017, I discovered it. And Bitcoin was around the price of £6,000. So you're looking at about maybe $8,000 US. That's how much one Bitcoin was worth back then. And then it actually dipped to around 3,000. And then around 2018, 2019, it went to around 12,000. And then we just went into a crazy bear market cycle and everything just went down. Yeah. And then while there was a news media frenzy about Bitcoin and crypto and how millionaires were literally being made overnight, the average investor, the average person started to ask questions like, oh, how can I get involved? A lot of people were dabbling in stuff they don't even know about, jumping on exchanges, buying different cryptos that they've never heard of. And a lot of people lost money. Don't get me wrong. But if you look at the growth of Bitcoin over the last 5 years, the same Bitcoin that was £6,000 is now around £76,000. That's the last time I checked this week, as of this recording. So even though Bitcoin had already reached some kind of maturity, it was already 12x. That's 12,000% up since 2017, 2018. And no news media outlet is talking about it. I think people are silently enjoying the gains of their wealth, especially the institutional investors. Do your own research. I'm not saying you should go and buy crypto or Bitcoin or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying keep your eyes open to what is out there and what they're not talking about. You know, yeah, one of the best places to start. Two websites I recommend you look at: coinmarketcap.com. That gives you all the info about the positions, the prices of each crypto that's listed. Every crypto that exists that can be found in the blockchain is listed there. Correct me if I'm wrong. And also Coinbase. So Coinbase is probably the number one crypto exchange in the world. Do some research, do some research. I will do an episode about that at some point this year, and that might actually be some behind the scenes Patreon content for those who want to subscribe and get involved, because that is stuff that you might need a bit of coaching on. Again, not financial advice, just letting you know that this stuff is out there and you should do your own research and find out what's going on, because if you can 12x your money, that's outperforming any single stock. Millionaires are being made overnight. Now, in a surprising move that's sparking a lot of debate across social media right now, Instagram has been testing another new feature that could fundamentally change how we interact online, especially on Instagram. The dislike button, traditionally known for its ubiquitous like button, Instagram's latest experiment aims to capture the full spectrum of user sentiment. Now, the feature's currently being rolled out in select test markets, so it's not everyone's going to see it. So they're saying it's not about encouraging negative behavior, it's more about offering content creators clearer signals about what's actually working and what's not, what's actually resonating with the people that are looking at their content. So far, there's mixed reactions. Early testers are reporting cautious curiosity. Some people are saying they appreciate the opportunity to communicate more authentically, arguing that a simple like often oversimplifies their feelings towards a post. So there's that. And then others voicing concerns about the potential for misuse. Some critics are warning that the addition of a negative reaction could lead to, let's say, an increase in online bullying or discourage content creators from experimenting with new stuff or more bold ideas, for example. I don't know. Let me know what you think about having a dislike button. Do you think it makes sense? Do you think it's going to be useful? Do you think it's going to harm social media? Do you think it's going to change the experience for people on social media? Drop a comment below and let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. Personally, I don't think there's any need for a dislike button at this stage. If I personally don't like something, I just keep scrolling. I don't know about you, but yeah, let me know what you think. I got some Apple news this week. Apple enthusiasts and tech insiders are buzzing with anticipation as Apple are getting ready to February the 19th. That event promises to deliver some surprises that could redefine the company's roadmap for the near future. So we've got next generation iPhone rumors at the heart of the excitement. You've got the next iteration of the flagship iPhone. I'm seeing videos and images of iPhone 17. You've got rumors hinted that the redesigned model is going to have, obviously, an enhanced camera, as they always say. What else is new? Cutting edge camera enhancements, a more powerful chipset. They always talking about a new powerful chip. But yeah, the phone doesn't look too much different. It doesn't do anything different. But yeah, anyway, analysts believe that these new updates are not only going to set a new benchmark for smartphone performance, but they're saying it's also going to strengthen Apple's competitive edge in an increasingly crowded market. And I don't think Apple's really innovated for a long time. But I think that's important. It'd be nice to see something new. I haven't actually upgraded my iPhone for the past three years, I think. So I'm currently on an iPhone 13 Pro, and it's got to the point where I don't care about upgrading. If my phone works, it's all good. But yeah, anyway, back to what we're saying about Apple's event, their upcoming event. We can expect upgraded wearables and an ecosystem integration alongside with the new iPhone, and expectations are quite high. There's speculation that suggests that there's a new Apple Watch which will include advanced health monitoring features, including a better battery life, tighter integration with Apple's ecosystem, and they're saying it's going to give a more seamless experience across devices, as per usual. It's to be expected. It's, that's what happens every time they launch a product. But yeah, it's probably going to be more on the software side. I mean, there isn't much else you can do beyond the hardware. Apple are expected to show some more updates with its suite of software and services. And the report that I saw from Digital Trends is pointing to announcements involving next generation features for iOS, watchOS, and perhaps even macOS as well. And they're saying there's an emphasis on privacy, machine learning, and augmented reality, as we've been talking about the past couple of weeks. So they're saying they might reveal some more news about their vision for the future of AR and putting those capabilities into existing products in ways that could, change the user interaction. So Apple's event might actually touch on strategic plans that align with the way things are going, more of the industry trends. So yeah, that remains to be seen. So while the specifics are still under wraps, one thing is clear: Apple's February 19th event is going to make headlines. So watch out for that. If you're an Apple fan or if you're into consumer tech, you're into Apple products, there's going to be a live stream, as there usually is, covering whatever it is that they plan to launch. So yeah, that should be interesting. Well, by the time you're watching this anyway, you would have seen it. But if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It'd be good to see if Apple can get back on the innovation. I don't feel like they've innovated for a long time. Apple Vision Pro was a great innovation, but obviously the price tag is mad. You're not expecting people to go and drop £3.5 on a VR headset, and to be fair with you, it doesn't look like it was ready for market anyway. That's why I think Samsung have got a really good shot at taking on Apple with their Project Muhan, the mixed reality headset that they've got coming out as well, especially with the price tag of around 1,500 or below. So yeah, things look to be heating up in the consumer tech space once again. So this week, bit of a change of plan, because I'm gonna go in a different direction when it comes to Scrolling Deep. So Scrolling Deep is a section of the podcast where I talk about some of the most interesting finds that I've come across on the internet, whether it's a post or a website or something like that. Anyway, so a funny video or whichever. And I've been doing a lot of research and soul searching on the complexities of copyright law and using other people's content. Even though you're tagging them and giving them credit, technically you're not supposed to do that. So moving forward, because I don't want this channel to get affected, I'm trying to grow this channel without any issues. I've kind of had to do a U-turn and really think about the direction of that. So I'm going to bring that back next week in a new format. And it's still going to be called Scrolling Deep. And the podcast is going to sort of narrow down and get more intentional about the different segments of the podcast. So it's going to be more streamlined. So the different segments, I've renamed the Sound Flash game because I thought the name was corny. I've changed the name to the Soundbite Challenge. It works better. It's a soundbite that I'm giving you. Everyone can understand what a soundbite is. The Soundbite Challenge is one segment of the podcast. You've got Scrolling Deep, which I mentioned just now. So I'm going to be giving you interesting websites, interesting finds on the internet. So not just social media. It could be a website, or it could be a post that I've seen that's made me think of something, and I'm going to discuss it. So rather than me reacting to videos or reacting to other people's content, I think it's probably more valuable to you as a listener, you as the audience, to actually get more of an insight into why this matters to you, rather than just me reacting to stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be looking for some interesting websites that are not often talked about. Some interesting stuff that will make you just think that, wow, how does this even exist? And there's plenty of that on the internet. So yeah, that will be coming to a new format from next week's episode. Expect me to get a bit tighter with the branding and all of that stuff. Like I said, on the first episode of season 3, basically building it as we go along. So there's that. Obviously don't want to get in trouble with YouTube and stuff like that. So yeah, and thank you to all of you who've been leaving comments, subscribing, liking, all of that stuff. It really helps me in terms of building the channel and getting more traction on the algorithm. So thank you so much for doing that for me. I really appreciate that. And I'm just going to try my best to make this channel more interesting and more valuable to you. So moving forward, the format of the show will continue as you've got the news, the tech news for the week, what's going on in social media, any developments over there, consumer tech, and then also the nostalgia aspect. We're going to go back in time. We're going to call those the analog archives. So it might be an old ad, old movie trailer, whichever. And you're going to see a little bit more of that nostalgia elements creeping in terms of the B-roll and also the sound effects and the sound design. And also I'm going to start to incorporate original music that I'm going to be producing on the podcast. So I did mention that before, and that's definitely going ahead. So watch out for the next couple of episodes. You're going to start to see that creeping slowly, especially over March. And yeah, your feedback is always valuable. And if you've got any ideas for me, if you've got any guests that you want to see appear on the show, because I haven't done any guests this season, and I'm going to be reaching out to specific people to come on the podcast and talk about specific subjects. And yeah, just trying to bring more value to you, the listener, to you, the audience, wherever you're watching or listening. With that being said, it's time for the soundbite challenge. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a game. I'm going to give you a soundbite. It could be a game. It could be from a game. It could be from a TV show. It could be a song, whatever it is. And you got to guess what it is. So you hear it for a split second, a little soundbite of whatever it is. You got to guess what it is. And you put the answer in the comments. And then what I will do is reveal the answer in the following episode. So yeah, that's how we're going to run it. So if you're ready for it, I'm going to drop that soundbite right now. If you missed it, you can always rewind it. And let's see how clever you are.
Techniques brings you one of the most significant advances in sound since stereo. Digital audio. Compact digital discs replace records, and lasers replace needles in Techniques compact disc players to give you the one music experience conventional stereo never could. Reality. Digital audio from Techniques.
Buy a Techniques compact disc player and get a CD starter kit including 3 free.
So why is everything nowadays a subscription? Listen, man, I really miss the old days where if you were buying software, you knew that it was just a one-off cost. You buy the software and you own it. Adobe, I'm talking to you, man. And the maddest thing about it is Adobe's products are they're so good. Yeah. Adobe's products are so good. As a creative, it's almost impossible to survive without using their products. But they've got you locked into this subscription, man. Come on, man. You got to pay for that. Any software that you use, it's a monthly subscription. The AI generation software is another one. ChatGPT is another one. Everyone's just got you in some chokehold with these monthly subscriptions. How did we get here, man? Honestly, man. Honestly. I know that the companies have to thrive as well, but damn. It's like there's certain things I don't think we need subscriptions for, or at least we should have the option to either do a pay-as-you-go or a rent-to-own. Yeah? Rent-to-own. I think that's a fair, happy medium because some companies are doing that. Like, for example, there's a company called Splice. And what they do is they sell plugins for music production. And some of these are mad expensive, up to £500-600, depending on what collection you're looking for. And what they allow you to do is they allow you to rent. So pay a monthly subscription for that product. And then when it reaches a point where you have paid enough installments to cover the cost of the whole product, you then own that product. Okay, I'm not saying that's never going to happen for things like, you know, Spotify, Netflix. We're not talking about that for now. But we're talking about like software. So for example, a piece of software, let's say it's valued at £1,000. If you want the option to own it outright, and then every year you pay maybe a little upgrade fee just to cover support costs and stuff like that, wouldn't that be fairer? Especially for those who are just starting out and trying to learn the ropes. Let's say they're not really fully invested. They just want to use the software. They just want to learn about it, but they might not use it professionally. They might not use it on a daily basis, right? They just want to get their feet wet and understand the product rather than going in for the commitment of a monthly subscription. And you know, another thing that I really hate about the subscription thing is when they charge you 50% more because you want to pay monthly. And then they make it sound like they're doing you a favor by offering you a discount for paying up front for a whole year. Does that make sense? Like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? That's the software side of things, right? Let's look at things like streaming. At one point, everyone was just getting rid of cable TV because they thought, yeah, YouTube. I watch most of my content on YouTube, or I'll watch Netflix. Yeah, they got us now, man. They got us now. Just seeing some news come in that Netflix is going to be increasing their prices again this year. If they haven't already done so in America, they will. But in the UK, they are increasing their prices again. So Netflix Premium is going to be £19 a month. Do you think that's fair? Shout me in the comments if you subscribe to Netflix or any of these other streaming platforms. Do you think what you're paying for is fair? And hey, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're a person that watches Netflix week in, week out, you're always watching Netflix. Yeah, that might be a worthwhile investment for you. But there are some customers who are just casual users. Like for me, I watch something on Netflix maybe once a month, if that. But I've got a 4K TV, so I don't want to watch Netflix in 720 with like 700 ads. I don't. So I pay for the premium package, right? But it's still not making sense to me, because when you add that all up, and I also pay for Amazon Prime, and I haven't watched anything on Prime for about 6 months. I know I'm the stupid one. I should cancel it. Yes, I know. It's my fault. But how did they get us, man? Like, the cost of streaming is crazy. If you add the average household, if you like sports, so sports now, the rights for sports is being divided between, I think BT Sports sold their rights to another company. So now you got TNT Sports / Discovery. They're offering the rights for Premiership football. And then if you're a boxing fan, you need to subscribe to DAZN. But then again, if it's a major box office fight, you still have to pay up front for the fight, which is like another £25. Hey, yo, what's going on here, man? What is actually going on here? Again, why is it that these companies are not offering a pay-as-you-go style tier for people who don't want to be locked into a monthly commitment? Why is that? Shout me in the comments if you think that would be a good idea. So, for example, if I want to watch just 2 or 3 films in a month on Netflix or Disney Plus, when I watch a film, I lose a credit. Yeah, it gives me a certain amount of credits, right? So if I watch a film, I lose a credit, and then I can watch maybe 2 more films left, and then my credit's done. If I want to watch more films, I can top up or whatever. Don't you think that's fair? I would actually use the service more. Or maybe it's something about the psychology of just always having it on tap. So it works for them as a company, keeps them more profitable, and then for us, it's more convenient. But again, that's why they say convenience has a price. Convenience always has a cost. So we're allowing ourselves to get shagged. I don't know. That's how I feel. And the thing is, I don't mind it. I like the convenience. I'm complaining about it, but I'm fully taking part in this. Like, for example, YouTube Premium. I think it's $11.99 for YouTube Premium. I never thought I would see the day where I'm paying for YouTube, but boy, I can't stand those ads. Like, honestly, the amount of ads nowadays on YouTube is disrespectful. I'm sorry. It's disrespectful at this point. So they got me, man. $11.99 or something like that. Or is it even maybe $12.99? I'm not even sure how much it is. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think we've gone too far with all the subscriptions? We've allowed this to happen. Spotify is going up as well. You know, how many things is the average person paying for? So for me, I've got Spotify, Netflix, Amazon Prime. I don't pay for Disney Plus anymore, but also YouTube Premium. Yeah, I think that's it. And I'm quite frugal. But there are people that have everything, you know. And when you add up the costs, it costs way more than cable TV or Sky. Cable TV even exist anymore. I don't even think it does. I think Virgin was the last cable provider in the UK. I don't know. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, the streaming thing is crazy. And we've got the technology to create more options, but is it just about the money? Maybe it's just about the money for them, you know? They always say that they use the money to invest in new programs, but Netflix has so many programs, you don't know what to watch, so then you end up watching nothing. Can you relate? Do you get what I'm trying to say? It can't just be me. But yeah, let me know what you think. Chime in the comments. You can chime in the comments on Spotify as well. Spotify has its own comments tab, and also on YouTube, obviously. Yeah. All right. So that wraps up this week's episode of Redesign. Like I said, the answer to the soundbite challenge will be announced on next week's episode. And also, we're going to be working with the new format, and look forward to the journey of like just growing this channel and just growing this community. And if there are any topics you want me to talk about in forthcoming episodes, let me know. Shoot me a message, shoot me a DM. Don't forget, you can follow me on Instagram at, almost forgot my Instagram there, the Content Pro _, and that's where I'm most active, Instagram. And get in touch and let me know what you want to see more of on this channel. So that being said, stay safe, stay curious, and I will see you on the next one.